What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lynette's Perspective. Thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate you clicking on the video. Let's just get right into last night's episode of Ready to Love. So, ladies, would you all date a man that was struggling financially, as in he has no car and no real place to stay? Even though you had made a genuine connection with this man, would you keep dating him? I can't really say that I would, especially at the beginning of a relationship, but let's get a bit into why later on in this video. But first, I need you to do me a huge favor and go ahead and smash that like button if you enjoy this content, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. Thank you so much. So we start off with Tommy throwing a block party, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. This looks like a nice part of downtown where they have, of course, blocked off traffic so everyone can just walk around and freely kind of mix and mingle. They have vendors out selling merchandise and a DJ playing some music, and the vibes just seemed really great. So everyone from the cast starts showing up, and the awkward moment comes when Francisco and Tay see each other, and apparently something has happened between the two. Tay says they had a strong connection until she found out that he had no place to stay and no car. And she was like, well, if you're not situated financially as a man, how are you ready to take on a relationship or marriage? How do you feel like you're ready? And I 100% agree. There's nothing wrong with being down on your luck sometimes. I mean, everyone in life goes through trials and tribulations. But why do you feel that at this point in your life, you're ready to settle down? I mean, the timing just doesn't seem good. Francisco then goes to sit down with Naeem, and he opens up to Naeem about how much this disconnect with Tay is really bothering him. I mean, for a moment there, it looked like Francisco was crying, like he was really hurt by Tay seeming to reject him or disconnect from him. And I don't exactly remember what he said happened after his divorce to put him in the situation, but I did appreciate Naeem pouring into him, giving him some encouragement, because Francisco wasn't trying to talk or engage with anyone there but Tay. So here's the thing that can be a bit tricky about dealing with a man, especially of a certain age, that's going through some financial troubles. When you're just starting to get to know each other and you just start dating, when a man is going through things financially, or he's not where he wants to be, men tend to have a completely different relationship with money, or a relationship to money, than women do. So it can affect men differently, which is why I would say for Tay to just be mindful, or maybe be careful, that his financial situation may be affecting all different aspects of who he is. But, we don't know. We don't really know him. She doesn't really know him. So she doesn't really know if he is going to be able to be a good partner or not. I think the best thing to do, maybe they can be friends or still stay connected. But so far as like serious dating, I do think that should be on hold for a bit until a man can get his things in order, because that weighs heavily. Not to say that as women we are not burdened with financial responsibility, or we don't feel away when we're not doing well, but men especially, their finances are so tied to who they are, just because of a lot of what society says a man should be and what a man should do. And so as a man is sort of processing and cycling through all that, it can be a lot. But let's get into the connections and the disconnects. We see Cam, who has strong connections with both Rose and Sahara. Although when Sahara was flirting with somebody else, I can't remember, there was somebody else she was flirting and laughing with, Cam just completely ignored Rose and act like Rose wasn't even there. He was just staring at Sahara like Sahara was cheating on him. I was like, sir, excuse me. There's a woman literally on your arm right at this moment. Please stop. You shouldn't be acting jealous at all. I don't know. That was weird to me. But anyway, Fritz and Shanice seem to really be connected, but they shared a cute little kiss or whatever, but I'm really not feeling Fritz anymore, but we'll talk more about him later. But missteps were most definitely made. I mean, can someone please tell me what was going on with Coley? I was kind of confused. I was like, is she tipsy? I don't know if they're serving alcohol or something like that. Like, she just seemed a little off. It threw me, and I couldn't quite put together, like, why is she acting the way she was acting with Eddie? And clearly he really wasn't feeling her in that moment either. So she wasn't really reading the room. I don't know. People were looking at her like she was just kind of throwing herself at him. I was kind of embarrassed for her, but it seemed like she really blew it. Rocky and Naeem. really just was a disconnect as well. Even though honestly, Rocky is really growing on me after, especially I think it was the last episode maybe where she talked about her past and she really opened up. I was really starting to like her, and I loved how she was so completely and utterly inappropriate and unaware of how inappropriate it was to be sitting there reading that erotic poetry to Naeem. But I get it. I think she was trying to be like, hey, this is a part of me, who I am, blah, blah, blah. But her just reading it and, clearly he wasn't feeling it. I was like, that was a complete misstep, in that regards either. So clearly Naeem and Rocky are not a match. So, of course, these two women, both Rocky and Coley, wind up at the bottom. Meanwhile, Francisco decides to just go and talk to Tay and just open up and just face it head on. And I like when he told her, look, I'm not hiding. He's like, I respect how you feel and the decisions that you make in regards to me. I just want to have my say. And they have a real tender moment, like I said before, where he really opens up to her. And even though she was open or, respective of what he was saying, she showed him grace. I really don't know that she's going to continue dating him, or at least I wasn't sure in this scene if she was actually going to continue dating him. But I don't know. Then the previews next week show, I don't know, maybe their connection does get stronger. We'll see. After all the mixing and mingling, Tommy has them play this game where he sits all the ladies down facing the men who are each in front of a bell. And Tommy says that he's going to give a quote that is something one of these men said. You ladies will go to the man you think said this particular quote and ring the man's bell, ring the physical bell that's in front of him. And it's a fun game with the women, with the winners, being Angie and Sahara. And what did they wind up winning? They each get to choose a man to go out on a date with them. And Angie surprisingly chooses Hussein. I was like, I don't know why. I guess she didn't want to deal with Eddie after the whole thing with Eddie and Coley, but I was like, okay. So Angie goes on a date with Hussein, and they go to this peaceful sound bath. And listen, don't knock sound baths, okay? Because after whatever episode that was on Married at First Sight, when Carla was introducing Juan, I think, or maybe some of the other ladies to the sound bath, I actually started doing those sound baths in order to help me to sleep because I was having trouble sleeping. And so now I do the sound baths to help me to sleep, especially after a really long, stressful day. So those sound baths really do work. They're amazing. They can be amazing to relieve stress and to help you sleep and to help you relax. Okay. Just wanted to say that. So anyway, Sahara then chooses Fritz for her date. And I was like, no, worst possible choice. I hated when she got onto Fritz in I think it was the last episode about him copy and pasting text that he was sending her. And I was like, if a man does not text you back, pay him dust and move on. You can't tell a man how to text you. So anyway, Sahara is giving Fritz a hard time, and he actually does reveal he just came on here playing anyway. And she was like, playing? Oh, okay. Is that what we were doing? And you know what? Cam said the same thing in the vault when they were in the vault with the other men, that he could see right through Fritz's BS, just like Sahara. So I would like to see Fritz go up from elimination the next go round when the ladies have to choose. And I would like to see Fritz go home. Sir, you can go. You can go. But speaking of the vault, back down in the vault, the guys get into it about Fritz being hell-bent on sending Sahara home. But Sahara is up for elimination nonetheless. So we're left off with the following elimination dates. Jay meets with Rocky, Eddie meets with Coley, and Cam meets with Sahara. And we have to wait until next week to find out who went home, because not one but two of the ladies are leaving next week, and it's all about to get really ugly if you ask me. Personally, I think Sahara and Coley are going home, but we shall see, because Rocky doesn't really have any real connection, so I don't know. But big shout out to you all if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. Please drop down in the comments and let me know what you all thought of this episode. Is there any one favorite couple that you're feeling? What about Tay and Francisco? Do you think Tay handled the situation well? Or do you think she should leave Francisco alone? Be sure to let me know, and I will see you all next week. Bye. When they look in my eyes, all they see is pain, but I don't care. Deep in my heart, all the feeling is pain, but I don't care. 'Cause
myself. I know I can make it.